Hello. How y'all doing this evening? It's that time of year again. It's that time of year. It's time for the annual showcase for E4 Youth. Hello, everybody. My name is Carl Settles, and I'm the founder and executive director of E4 Youth. And I'm really glad, thankful to be here. It was a heck of a year. To use a cliche, it was an unprecedented year of events and struggle. But hey, we're here and we're excited about it. So let's go ahead and get things started with thanking our wonderful sponsors. So our presenting sponsor for this year's award show is 100 Black Men of Austin. And our hometown sponsors are Cut and Run, Finland Finish, TBD Studios. Did I say that right? TBD Post. There we go. And Black Market Studios. And of course, as we've been supported all these years, we get support from the City of Austin Economic Development Department and the Cultural Arts Division there. So we've gotten the sponsors out of the way. And next, we're going to talk about, hey, what is it that E4 Youth does? I'm sure that a lot of you already are familiar with us, but I'm sure there's some new folks as well. And our mission is to use the arts, sciences, and technology to help youth find and pursue pathways to successful careers in the creative economy through hands-on training, active mentorship, and exposure to real-world opportunities. So hopefully tonight, you're going to gain some understanding into how exactly do we do that. There are really two main parts of our program because we work with students ages 16 to 24, so high school and college age youth. So we have high school enrichment clubs, and we have something called the Creative Leadership Academy. And this is something that we started a couple of years ago because what we actually do is we actually hire college students. We train them to run our high school clubs. So the Creative Leadership Academy is essentially a big pool, if you will. It's a pipeline of talent. And everybody starts off as what we call digital apprentices. And essentially what we do is we say, look, if you will spend 20 hours a month working on building your capacity, building your leadership skills, we will pay you $250 a semester. Okay. And if you do that, hit the next button on the slide there, then we're going to open up these employment pathways for you. So the first thing that we do is we start hiring all of our college students at $15 an hour. And the first pathway is a creative mentor. And so creative mentors are matched with career and technical education high school teachers, and they essentially run their after school clubs. The second pathway that we provide is internships and employment with our partners. And that can be both the agencies and media companies and technology companies that we work with, as well as our sister nonprofits as well. And lastly is our most recent employment pathway. And those are what we call digital docents. And digital docents are essentially content creators. But the main focus of our digital docents is that they are collecting and curating oral histories of people of color. And we have a platform called the E4 Virtual Archive that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. And it's basically a location-based storytelling archive, if you will. And so they are collecting and curating stuff for that. And they are also helping our sister nonprofits as they implement digital and cultural literacy skills into their enrichment clubs. And that's with students as young as 6 years old, all the way through to college. So what I would like to do now to really give you some insight into what exactly is the Creative Leadership Academy or the CLA, is I'm going to invite several of our senior creative mentors and digital docents to join me here on screen. We're going to have a we're gonna sorry, I saw a note there about a mispronunciation that I did there. So anyway, we're gonna bring these folks on screen. We've got Chelsea, Ricardo, Janaea, Christy, Michaela, and Tin, and I think I may have missed Jaleisha. So welcome. All of you are now going to be probably leaving the nest soon, and so that's why I really wanted to have you all here. And you all are, we're really proud of you, and we really want to. I really want to give you an opportunity to just talk about your experience. So if we could just go around and say and let us know. So what's been your role at E for Youth, and what are your immediate future plans? So who'd like to go first? Tin, you're at the top of my screen, so why don't you go first there?
So I joined E4 Youth about 2 years ago as a digital docent, and I'm primarily doing stuff like live event production and working with the Music Legacy Project and other technical tasks. And my next immediate plans are I'm actually going to a medical school in Arkansas under the New York Tech College of Medicine. So I'm going in August.
All right, so you're going to be a doctor. That's nice, man. That's awesome. How about you, Chelsea?
Hi, you guys. I'm Chelsea Jenkins, and my role in E4 Youth has been a creative mentor and digital docent. And my immediate plans after, I guess, graduation in E4 is to land a job in the creative industry and hopefully make an impact there.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Michaela?
Hey everyone, my name is Akela Dumas. I've been at E4 for 3.5 years now. I am a creative mentor. I've been a creative mentor my whole time here, and my immediate plans, I just got hired on for the Wyden Kennedy, New York residency, so I'll be doing that this summer.
Wyden Kennedy. That's like, you're balling, girl. I see you. I see you. You got a lot of jealous people watching this show right now, hearing you going to Wyden Kennedy in New York. Well, Janaea, you're our development and operations manager. I'm not sure why you're here, but it's good to see you. I'm not going to let you talk.
You introduced me, Carl, but maybe I'm going to have some airtime because I'm wearing real pants today for this event.
Always a big plus. Always a big plus. Ricardo, how about you, sir?
Awesome. Yeah, so I actually joined E4 Youth as a graduating senior of high school. I was first introduced when I graduated, and I first joined their summer internship program called Shout of the Pros. And I've been a part of E4 Youth ever since then. I've done mentoring, more shadowing, and I'm now running the Creative Leadership Academy. And my future short-term goals are to be hired as an art director in New York.
Awesome. Everybody wants to go to New York. If you can make it there, hey. So Jaleisha, what's going on with you?
Hey, y'all. My name is Jaleisha. I'm a digital docent with E4 Youth. I've been with E4 Youth for about 3 years. And then I'm honestly hopping on the New York gang. Your girl is going to Columbia for graduate school in the fall. So catch us in New York or whatever for E4 link up. But I am still looking for a job in the creative industry because I do plan to go to work and do school at the same time. So, if y'all hiring, hit us up on LinkedIn. Jaleisha back.
Jaleisha is anything, but she ain't shy. So yeah. And we saved the best for last. Christy, what you got for us?
Hi, everybody. I'm Christy. I am the creative mentor digital docent I've been with E4 for 2 years now. And my future plans right now or soon will be in New York also for my new role as a junior creative strategist at CSM.
Nice. Nice. Well, I just got to say that I'm super proud of all of you. And I know that you all are going to go out there and do amazing things in the world. I wanted to ask a little follow up I'm going to ask this to Michaela and then Christy. So, why did you choose to join E for Youth in the CLA, and how has it helped you?
Why did I choose? Okay, so originally I heard about E4 through my roommate. You guys went and talked to her, Dr. Moore's class, actually. And she was like, hey, I think you'd really be interested in this. So I interviewed Humberto, and I was really liking, I guess, the atmosphere and the vibe. And then when I started to hear about what we were going to be doing and what I'd be doing as a mentor, and then that year what I'd be doing as a digital docent, I was like, oh, this is actually something I care about. Like, and this is something that I felt like I would have really benefited from having when I was in high school, having like a mentor type figure. And I just kind of really jived with what you guys are doing, with what we're doing with E4. And being in the organization, like, it's benefited me so much because it's a lot different. I've worked a lot of different jobs. I've been a lot of different places. And being in a place where the people there actually believe in you and understand your dreams and are supporting you is so much different than being somewhere else. You grow exponentially when you have a collective of people who really want to see you grow, which is really nice. And is one of the reasons why I really love this organization.
Awesome. Christy?
Yeah, I have to say I was introduced by Ricardo. I was looking for a summer experience internship to really build on my skills, and he told me about E4 and the mission. I come from like a smaller town outside of Austin, so we don't really have any type of experience or way to kind of have a creative path or kind of exposure in a way. And so like seeing how E4 really tries to push us into that side of the industry without and really support us is what really stuck to me. And from there, I just kind of wanted to be a part of this kind of support, this kind of family. And I've just learned so much and built on my own skills, but also try to push others to their boundaries.
Awesome. So next question, I'm going to address this to Jaleisha and Tin. What is the most valuable lesson that you've learned through participation in E4?
Well, for me, it was mostly putting my theoretical skills to the test in practical situations like live events like these, and even learning more skills that I didn't know I could even be exposed to through E4. And for me, that helped in a lot of ways, in ways that I wouldn't really expect. Like learning how to edit a video helps you learn how to sit there and look at the minutia of things more so than other tasks. And so it's hard to put exactly into word what I've learned, but I know all the skills I've learned all the way have changed me and made me the person I am.
Yeah, and you're getting ready to go to medical school, and it's interesting. You're a great communicator, so I think you're going to do great things in the medical profession. We've tried everything we could to get you to stay and be creative with us, but damn it, gone to be a doctor then.
I'll do both. You know, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Jaleisha?
As cliche as it sounds, I really learned how to be, I really learned that I was creative. Like, honestly, like before this, I had no idea what I was doing. I went to college because everybody was like, oh, you got to go to college. You know, I'm a first generation student. Like, I have no plan, no idea what I was doing. And so, like, I originally joined E4U to be a creative mentor because I was like, oh, I know how to teach people. Like, that's easy. That's slight work. You know what I'm saying? But I ended up not doing that because I didn't have a car to get to the place. So they threw me in as a digital docent. And I was like, what are they doing? Like, I have no idea what's happening here. Like, I'm like, they talking about doing virtual reality and all these different things. And I'm just like, Carl, what in the world y'all got me up here doing? And it ended up working out because I ended up really liking it. And I was just learning about like how to do virtual reality because I was doing stuff with the Austin Digital Heritage Project. I ended up learning like, dabbling in video editing. Humberto taught us how to do photography. You know what I'm saying? And it really like in doing the creative pathway talks and hosting that, like it really like allowed me to see like what I wanted to do, like what I was interested in, what I wasn't interested in, doing the studios. I was able to figure out like what I liked it, what I didn't like, if I didn't like advertising, if I liked the marketing, like all these different things. I was able to learn like being an E4, and I was also able to just learn about myself. We do like SWOTs in E4 like every semester. So like our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities for growth, and threats.
Threats.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I feel like doing those things every semester and like talking them out with like Carl and Humberto really like allowed me to like reflect on my own strengths and like who I am and like how can I like contribute to different teams. And so I was able to better articulate like my strengths to people during interviews and tell my story, talk about my creative story. And I really feel like E4 Youth like helped me like develop like that confidence in myself to be the best I can, but like also help me figure out like who I am and like where I want to go. So that's the most valuable thing I learned.
Wow. Well, you're gonna make me tear up, girl. That's awesome. That's awesome. So many of students like yourself, I'm sure you did well in high school. And I remember when I met you, you were doing a lot.
Well,
You were doing a lot. And I think sometimes we just have to have somebody just say, why are you doing all that? Like, what is really the most valuable? And just slow down. And so I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing the impact that you and the other folks are going to make in the world. One last question, and I'm going to address this to Chelsea and Ricardo. What advice would you give to someone that is considering applying to the Creative Leadership Academy at E4 Youth? Chelsea, you want to go first?
Yes, I will. So first and foremost, you should definitely join the CLA because why not? But on a serious note, this is like such a great support group for creatives. I know I've heard from previous creatives that's here already in E4 ecosystem how they were confused at first, didn't know what was going on, how to even start creative. And E4 gave me and others, as you saw, boost this, need for just going out there trying on different hats and just trying to see like what's your niche. So I am happy that I got the chance of being in the CLA and definitely give this to anyone, especially minorities who want to highlight their foot in the creative industry.
Okay. There was a little bit of an echo there. I think you might need to mute yourself. But I think I got the gist of that. Ricardo, what advice would you give to somebody?
I would say that my advice for anybody who wants to join the Creative Leadership Academy is to just do it, because you're not going to lose anything from the opportunity. You're just going to learn, like Chelsea and Jaleisha said. They learned things that they like and things that they don't like. Another reason is because you get paid to improve your skills and work on yourself. So there's not really any other job or organization that I know that does that. I think it's just a really great opportunity for you to learn what you like, learn what you don't like, and work on your skills.
Well, that's great, Ricardo. I know we're running a little bit behind on time. I really appreciate all of you sharing what you all your experience with E4. And I know that we're going to hear from some of you a little bit later on in the program. 10 is actually behind the scenes making all this stuff work. As he is being interviewed and participating in the show. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And next up, what I'd like to do is introduce one of our newest senior staff members, and that is our E4 Virtual Archive Program Manager, Cynthia Ruiz. Hi, Cynthia. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
We're doing good, doing good. So, Cynthia, I know that you're a former teacher, language, is it language arts or
Yeah, English.
language arts teacher in English? But can you just talk a little bit about what is your role here at E4Youth and what are you doing?
I'm learning every day. That's what my role is to stay open-minded and in communication with everyone. I'm in charge of the awesome team of digital docents, which are all college-age youth, and some are recent graduates. And we do the ADHP project, Austin Digital Heritage Project. We do, let's see, the Creative Pathways podcast every Wednesday. And then we also do our weekly meetings as team. I help with the health dojo, check in with our students, make sure mentally, emotionally, we've got it going on. So yeah, a little bit of, hands in everything.
Awesome. So you mentioned the Austin Digital Heritage Project, and we're going to have a couple of teams of our docents do some short presentations here. For those of you that don't know, what we're doing is we've developed the E4 Virtual Archive. We have I guess a prototype of that, and can we add that to the screen? And essentially, this is Eva, and what you see there is a map of Austin, and in the center of that map, where those red dots are, just to the left there, that the dot to the red dot to the furthest to the left is right there at I-35, right? And each one of those dots represents an immersive story about that place. And essentially what the docents have been doing is they've been going out into the community and doing research on these locations, and then interviewing people about these things and putting together virtual reality experiences that really help unearth the history, because history really hides in plain sight. Tim, could you go to one of those, maybe go to the Harlem Theater right quick, just so folks can get a sense of what they're going to see when our teams present. So what you see here, this is actually is located at 12th and Chacon here in Austin. And what we did is we took the Harlem Theater, and back when Austin was legally segregated, the Harlem Theater was the only place that Black folks could go in Austin for movies and entertainment. And so we took it and we put it back on that block. And you see that there's a video there of a gentleman who grew up in East Austin, and he's talking about the Harlem Theater. So you get to really get a sense of what that place is. And in future iterations, you're going to be able to go physically to these places and point your phone at something, and then be able to access this type of content while you physically walk around those places. So that gives you, I guess, a high level view of what EVA is and what the Austin Digital Heritage Project. We really want to collect ultimately thousands of stories that really depict the oral history, particularly of people of color throughout Central Texas, and also using this engine to drive similar efforts all over the world as well. So Cynthia, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce our docent teams, and then they're going to share a couple of these pieces with you.
Okay, great. So our docents, we've got about 11 And then we've got a couple of digital apprentices that have helped us as well. And we meet on Tuesdays. I think it's important to remember that everything that you're about to see was done virtually, communicating through Zoom, Google Meet, email, text message, Slack, whatever. We have 2 teams and they split up, and the communication and collaboration has just been flawless, in my opinion. Like, I know they've hit some road bumps, but what team doesn't? And they have done their best to go through design sprints. They take constructive criticism. And I'm excited to let y'all see what they've created. So I'm going to bring Laura on with one of our teams as she gets ready to present their project.
Hello, good evening, everyone. This semester, our team composed of myself, Anna, Chelsea, Dana, Jen, and Litzy all conducted thorough online and interview research on East Avenue, now known as I-35, as well as Anderson High, formerly Austin's only African-American high school. Our team was incredibly collaborative. We worked on research, copywriting, coding, video production, and we synergistically worked on some project management throughout this whole semester to bring this presentation to you today, focusing on our content for Anderson High on E4Youth's virtual archive, which lays out a timeline of this location's evolution, a 360 image of how the original school location looks like today, and then some video content that we edited to visually storytell how this drastically transformed location touched the lives of so many people within the East Austin community. I'm going to now pass the mic to Anna, that's going to go a little bit more in depth on the history, development, and significance of this location.
Thank you so much, Laura. So like she said, I'll just be going into a brief overview of the significance of Anderson High School. So in 1928, an urban racially segregated zones in Austin, with Interstate Highway I-35 acting as the barrier between East and West Austin. After the urban plan was implemented, Anderson High School in East Austin came to be the city's only African-American high school. The high school emerged as one of the most decorated schools in the Texas Interscholastic League of Colored Schools. The Anderson High School Yellow Jacket band and football team held multiple state titles and won many state championships. In 1971, the U.S. Federal District Court ordered the closing of Anderson High School because it was still found to still be racially segregated years after the ruling of Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas. The students who attended Anderson High School at the time were sent to other high schools in the Austin area to finish out their education. Later on, in 1973, the Austin Independent School District built a new high school in Northwest Austin. There, the district named the new high school L.C. Anderson High School to honor the original Anderson High School's legacy. Today, the former East Austin location of the high school is often referred to as the original L.C. Anderson High School. Now, we'll be transitioning to the video. Community members in the Austin area will share their experiences with attending the Anderson High School.
My name is Diane Gilmore Lang. I wanted to go to the famous L.C. Anderson High School so I could be in the marching band. I played alto saxophone. And the lady that lived at the top of the hill was the drum major. And so when she was getting ready to go to Anderson, you know, for the football game or what, she was standing at the top of the hill so all the kids could see her and get this pose. You know, you go all the way back.
Had a great band. We won state a couple of times, and I was happy to have that kind of experience. They had built the new school, which was right here on Thompson Street. So my freshman class was the first class to enter the new Anderson High School in 1953. Here again, we had good teachers. People had high expectations for us, and we delivered. We had championship football teams, basketball teams, track, you name it. Whatever we participated in, we were good at it. And of course, we didn't have the opportunity of playing the schools on the other side of town. But in an informal way, on East Avenue, we would have sandlot football games with Austin High. And we would beat them just playing on dirt. But we had the best team. And had we had the opportunity, we would probably been district champions almost every year. We had outstanding athletes, as we did other students.
Thank you guys so much for listening to our presentation on Anderson High. And now we have our upcoming presentation with the next team that also did a similar work project. We kind of divided into 2 units for the semester, just to kind of get this prototype started. And they did an amazing job with their work. So I'm incredibly excited to introduce the Doris Miller Auditorium in Bruce Park with Darnell and Lily.
Yes, I'm Darnell Wilson, and my team is comprised of myself, Tin, Lily, Damien, Joseph, and Christy. For tonight, we're going to do a showcase of the Doris Miller Auditorium. This historical location that's on Rosa Park is central to Austin's African American cultural history. Doris Miller himself is often regarded as one of the most well-known heroes of the Second World War. So now we are going to play our presentation for everyone.
Located on Rosewood Park, the Doris Miller Auditorium was posthumously built on April 10, 1944, by the United States Civilian Conservation Corps for Doris Dory Miller, America's first African American to be awarded the Navy Cross. A native of Waco, Texas, his heroics were recognized during the invasion of Pearl Harbor in the following ways: rescuing wounded sailors, including the captain of the USS West Virginia, and manned an anti-aircraft machine gun until he ran out of ammo and was forced to abandon ship. During World War II, however, the U.S. Armed Forces were segregated, and African Americans in the Navy did not receive weapons training for battleships.
I believe he was a cook on the battleship West Virginia, and when the bombing happened, he kind of jumped into action and was rescuing soldiers and firing anti-aircraft.
Post-World War II, the auditorium became a cultural hotspot for African Americans to hold special events, such as livestock shows, dances, and concerts. Its most well-known special event was the Chitlin Circuit, where African American musicians traveling through Texas could play, given social activities were segregated at this time. Musicians such as Ella Fitzgerald, Ike and Tina Turner, Louis Armstrong, Count Basie, and Little Richard performed here between the 1940s and 1960s. Recently, a national nonprofit organization called Notes for Notes collaborated with the Austin Parks and Recreation Department to build a state-of-the-art recording studio inside the auditorium for youth living in East Austin. The Doris Miller Auditorium serves as a physical reminder to African American Austinites of a bygone era that specifically disenfranchised them. Nevertheless, there is much more progress to be made. This historic landmark shall remain in our hearts and minds for generations to come.
All right. Thank you so much for viewing our presentation. This really meant a lot to us.
Yeah, it looks like we have Q&A. One has questions.
So, yeah, Tin, are you able to see? So, we wanted to open it up. If you're not talking, go ahead and mute yourself. I hear a lot of background noise there. So what we wanted to do is just give people, if there were any questions from folks out there that are watching that you wanted to ask those teams, we're just going to give you a couple of minutes to do so. If not, we can keep this thing moving. It's all good. I will not take that personally. Do we have any questions about the Austin Digital Heritage Project or the E4 Virtual Archive?
It looks like we don't currently. Oh, here's one from Martha.
So how do you select the sites that you decided to profile? I'm probably going to have to answer that one since I'm the one telling them what to do. So we're focused on doing research right now, primarily around East Austin. There is a movement afoot. It's been going on for quite some time to actually establish a full-fledged African American Cultural Heritage District and put some resources towards that. And so what we really want to do, first of all, we want to get the community educated about that history. And so we've been focused primarily on those spots. Hope that answers your question. I'd love. Oh, Joa says, "I'd love to know what they learned about the history of Austin that really inspired them." Anybody have some answers for that?
Yes. Yeah. So when it came to the initial research, since I'm not a native Austinite, I wasn't sure. Um, uh, I wasn't really familiar with these historical locations, but from doing extensive research on them, I know for certain that one thing I learned is that we came from a long way, and this was only because the Doris Miller Auditorium was built in 1944, and that's only what 76 years ago. I mean, my that place was built during my grandmother's existence, so it's a stark reminder is that when it comes to American history, we really need to to ensure that things like this do not happen again. You know, although the place was built, with the best intentions, it was for the purpose of segregating someone by race. So for me, it really brought me in tune of my culture because, to be honest, I've not been in tune with that lately. So it really inspired me to be more attentive of cultural hotspots such as the auditorium itself.
That's a great answer. History hides in plain sight. There's another question here from Adam Butler about does the Austin History Center help with and or archive this work as well? So we're actively looking to work with Austin History Center and all of the other resources through University of Texas. We really want to work with Houston Tillotson. The idea for us is that we teach our sister nonprofits that are working with elementary and middle school students the exact same techniques that these college students are using, and we want thousands of people to be collecting and curating that history, because we believe if people know that history, we're much less likely to repeat it. And also all of the digital literacy skills that also come from doing this work, we think there's a lot of benefit from that. So I hope that answers your question. And does anybody else want to comment on something about the history that inspired them? Don't feel pressure. We can keep it moving.
I can make a quick comment and just say that, especially like a first generation college student, and really observing the history of this high school and, just the evolution of Austin as a city, it's so critical to like it was just what Darnell said, to look back and learn that this history is just right there. And Austin used to be predominantly Black, and that's something that as a UT student I didn't know until I was working on this project. Not to mention, would have never coded in my life, honestly. And this project has really helped me to understand that, as a youth of color, that can inspire other youth of color to delve into, history and projects that they never thought that that would either interest them or that they could even get into, that this is an opportunity that is open for all of them. So I've grown so much from these interviews and from just delving into this history that we don't really get to do in the classroom. And it's really as important for me as about to be a UT graduate, that this is part of something that I invest my time in and give back to. So I'm so excited for where this project is going to go. And I'm so grateful that we all are here, celebrating the directions that it's going. So yeah, thank you so much for asking that question.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, so that concludes this part of the show with you all hearing from members of the Creative Leadership Academy. You'll see some of them come back later when we go through the awards. And actually, it is time for the awards. And I'm so glad to also be able to introduce another senior staff member that just joined us, I guess, back in September-ish, maybe August. And that is our new development and operations manager. And that is Janaea Zarad. Welcome, Janaea, to the screen.
Hello again.
So, Janaea, I'm going to hand it off to you to talk about the awards. And yeah.
All right.
Do your
Well,
thing.
first of all, Carl, I would be remiss and be shirking my development duties if I didn't put the bat signal out there and let all the folks watching live today know that you too can invest in our creative youth, as we have numerous tailored apprentice programs for our young people. Something that's important to know is that getting paid internships and apprenticeships in the creative space is very, very, very hard to come by. And as a consequence, you see a lot of underrepresented creatives become further marginalized because, as Carl Settles Jr. always likes to say, you can't eat a warm and fuzzy feeling. So it's really important to us that as we bring on our apprentices, as we hire on digital docents and creative mentors at a starting wage of $15 an hour, we want to be able to pay them for their work as they learn and improve their skills. So I encourage all of you to help us close this chasm in the creative space and amplify these talented young voices by going to e4youth.org/donate. Once again, that's youth.org/donate. All right, so now that I got that plug in, I'm ready to give out some awards to folks. So let's go ahead and look at that screen with all the amazing partners that have contributed to the work that we do here. So we're very, very generous. We have very generous sponsors and partners here who have helped us in a number of ways, whether that be co-writing grants with us, like Latinitas, or providing superb in-kind services, like Resplendent Hospitality has been helping us with a lot of PR efforts. We've had Callan this semester doing portfolio evaluations with our students. And of course, we had some awesome industry partners doing our industry studios this school year. So big shout out to Frog, Verizon Media, and Wonderman Thompson for having these industry studios that have taken our students from beginning to end of a whole ad campaign. So with that said, this industry studio partnership thing was conceived of in the throes of this pandemic to make sure that our young creatives could still get exposure to real world professional experiences. And we happen to have one partner in particular who decided to pioneer this, took the idea and made it a reality and really set the standard for future partnerships for our industry studios. So they really engaged with our students and had some awesome campaigns that they worked on for both Dreamland in Dripping Springs and for Austin FC. So without further ado, I would like to present our award for Partner of the Year to the Butler Brothers. And we have one of the brothers here. Adam, good to see you, sir. Would you care to give a speech this evening?
Say again?
Would you care to give a speech this evening?
Oh, well, thank you. I was counting on Marty to do that. He's left me. He's left me behind. Maybe he's in the waiting room. But thank you, Janaea. This has been an amazing experience working with E4 Youth. I mean, Carl, you are fond of saying that that E4 Youth is all about building relationships, and that is why we got involved with E4 Youth, was seeing the need to build relationships with and for students in this industry. And the studio is such a great way to do that because it creates a ton of surface area. I mean, they get to see how we work. We get to learn about how they work. We get to have really frank conversations about the realities of commercial creative work, which have been super, super impactful on us as well. The struggle to kind of see that you don't always get put on your desk what you most might want to work on as a creative. And some of those conversations and life lessons about this industry have been really powerful. Also, it forces you as a studio provider to think about the way you do your work and how is it able to be understood by people who are coming in from the outside. So it's a super reflective experience. And then finally, I hear someone's voice coming through. Finally, it's just a thrill to be able to position students to present real work. One of our mottos is no fake work. Real work to clients that are going to be able to use that work. And we let our students know from the get-go that we wanted to find challenges from real clients that they could help solve, and that we wanted to get them an audience with those clients, and that we wanted to see those ideas come to life. With Dreamland, we saw that they took the concept of Dream Fest that the students came up with and started to build on it and execute upon it. And with Austin FC, our students had an amazing idea this year that really inspired not only the marketing team at the soccer club, but also their nonprofit arm, 4ATX. And their words that night, I think the students would agree with this, that they were speechless by the ideas that the students had, and they worked their butts off on them. So real world experience, ideas that make an impact. And our team did such a great job of digging in and building a studio that was educative. So my hat's off to the Butler Bros team for their work, and for the E4 students for leaning in and getting the most out of the opportunity and teaching us how to do our job better. We surveyed them too.
Thanks so much, Adam. We appreciate everything you've done for us this year. It's been
you.
a wonderful experience.
Let's keep going.
Definitely. All right, moving right along, getting to award more folks. So next we're going to look at some of our coaches for the year. So in these industry studios, we had very many people who devoted tons of their time each semester to engaging all of our creative youth weekly, and then throughout the week through other means of communication to get a solid end product that's truly professional and great. So as you can see the names listed here, I would like to say that this was a very challenging decision that we discussed at length, and that the person that we decided on really put us all into forging relationships with the E4 team, as well as our young creatives. This person is extremely inquisitive and always looking for ways to adapt aspects of the program to make a more enriching and fulfilling experience for our young people, and ensure that they're getting the most out of it that they can. And with that said, this particular Coach of the Year will also be awarded a $100 gift card from Jack Allen's Kitchen. Thank you to Jack Allen's Kitchen for contributing these wonderful gift cards tonight. I would like to present this award for Coach of the Year to Barrett Fry from the Butler Brothers team. Hey, Barrett, congratulations. And thank you for all your hard work this year.
Thank you for the continued amazing opportunity to work with y'all. It's an honor to get this award from such an amazing group of mentors and amazing people. And look forward to continually learning and growing with everyone. It's a treat. So thank you for the continued opportunity and that sweet Jack Allen's gift card.
Yes, of course. And you know, for all of our winners tonight too, we have a little extra something special that we'll be sending along to you. I'll be collecting your address later because you will be receiving a piece of art that's created by an E4 student. So
what?
It's gonna be amazing.
Thank you. And also, it's great to see some familiar faces tonight as well. And just want to say congrats to all the seniors heading out to your new adventures. Y'all are awesome. The world is not ready for your greatness. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Barrett. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
I'll be right here.
Okay. Moving right along to our Advocate of the Year. So this one was really exciting and special for me to present because this is someone I have the opportunity of interacting with pretty regularly in my work. This person, she's really gone above and beyond in fundraising efforts for E4 Youth. She's brought in all kinds of illustrious guest speakers in the creative space over the course of this past year, who have engaged our students, not just in the creative pathways talks, but in more personalized, intimate talks that we call our internal talks within our Creative Leadership Academy. And this person's always the first person to pitch in as random needs arise with E4 Youth. So whether it be acquiring furniture for our students who are getting ready for a big move, or helping us organize events, or even talking to potential partners about all the work that's being done here at E4 Youth. She's an immensely talented creative herself, and I admire her so much, both professionally and personally. She serves on our board of directors, and our advocate of the year this year goes to none other than Karen, KJ Jacobs. And Karen, you will be receiving a $100 gift card for Salt Traders Coastal Cooking.
Ooh, nice.
So let's go have cocktails later, okay?
Okay. On me.
All right, Karen, I'll mute myself.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate and I'm surprised by the recognition. I started getting requests to help E4 Youth, and I never really knew what it was, although I went to a showcase one year when it was in person, and it was so impressive. That was the beginning of the digital heritage, and that's when I really was like, wow, what are these people doing? They're doing amazing things. So I basically asked my way onto the board, and they accepted that. So it's been a real pleasure helping out. And really, once I went to a CLA meeting and went at Umberto's classes, it's just so motivating, and you guys are awesome, and it's easy to sell it. So I really have to thank all the people that listened to me and started giving. So like the Butler Brothers and Finland Finish, Black Market, TBD Post, Cut and Run, Samuel Guthrie, the bakery. Like, it's a pretty easy sell because what y'all are doing is really cool, and you're great humans. So I know you're all going to do great, and I will see you in New York. I also love New York. And stay in touch, please. I love having that personal contact. So it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Karen. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
For us. And with that, I believe I am turning things over to Ricardo, who will be our next presenter. Hello, Mr. Ricardo Villegas. I love saying that name. You're delightful.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. I enjoy being here with everybody and seeing all the growth and being part of the growth. So without further ado, I'm gonna, I guess, go ahead and introduce the award for the Digital Apprentice of the Year. And this award is going to an apprentice that is still fairly new to E4 Youth. I guess let me give you a quick little background of what a digital apprentice is. In the CLA, we help build your skills, your portfolio. We just prepare you to get ready for the next step within E4 Youth, which would be becoming a digital docent or a creative mentor. And I guess now we can move on to the award. So this award is going to an apprentice that is fairly new to E4 Youth, but in their short time participating with us, we've really been able to see a huge amount of dedication and hard work from them, everything that they do. And I guess without further ado, this award is going to go to Darnell Wilson.
Wow, I'm so shocked that I won this award. So I would like to thank everyone at E4 Youth, Carl, Janaea, just everyone at E4 Youth, as well as my mentor, Ivan Millman. Although it's been a difficult year and a half due to world events, I owe my success to you all. So thank you so much for this award. Thank you.
Thank you, Darnell. We know you're going to do amazing stuff in the future. And we also created a new award named the Emerging Leader Award. And this award goes to someone who I have had the pleasure of working with throughout the whole year, and is someone that I've seen a tremendous growth in both personally and professionally. I know they're going to do amazing things in the not so distant future. And that person that is winning the Emerging Leader Award is Christiana Jeffers. Congratulations, Christiana. I don't know if she's here today, but congratulations, Christiana. I know you're going to do amazing things. And if she's not here, then I will pass it over to Chaka Mahone, who's going to be presenting the award for the Legacy ATX Musician of the Year.
What's going on, everybody? Good evening. Big shout out to the E4U staff. So proud to say that word, staff, because I remember when this was a dream and the twinkle in the eye of Mr. Carl Settles, the founder, director. Shout out to Umberto, Janaea, Cynthia, all the youth leaders. Y'all are doing it. You're going to look back on this and realize just how much you're already there, but like in a couple of years, trust me, you're going to just be like, oh man, this is just changed my life. And we had the opportunity to get with a bunch of young creatives that are interested in career and music. Legacy ATX is all about taking that raw energy and breaking it down a little bit so they can understand that it's more than just talent that you need to have a career in music. You also have to have a plan. You also have to understand branding and in this day and age, social media and marketing and all these different things. So over the months and weeks, we have discussions about that. We look at products, we look at ideas, we talk about them, we break them down so that it's understandable how they can apply that to themselves and the things that they're working on. And we just generally just encourage them to keep creating, just keep creating. So there was one student that just stood above the rest, that really every week you could just see this determination, the way he just looked into the camera, like he was just wanted to soak it up a little bit more than everybody else. And he taught himself the Logic Pro software. He taught himself how to record, and he's learning how to mix now. And he's also on the verge of releasing his own single for the first time. He's a young man that's at St. Edward's University as a counselor there. He was a leader in the program, but also took critique and feedback and grew from it. His name is Freddie. He goes by Peachy Lean now.
Hey, what's going on, man?
I see you clean now, play. I see you out there, man.
Yes, sir. Come on, you know how to
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you experienced during Legacy ATX this year?
Yeah, man. It's definitely been a ride. Mostly this year, with it being a lot different. Coming into this year, definitely was hard. Just academically, emotionally, mentally, just a lot of things going on. But also, being a youth legacy and meeting with my team every week was definitely a blessing. Definitely pushed me more to keep on going with my music. Learning a little bit more. Just because I wanted to show something every week, and so I had to be determined. I had a rough start, but I think, second semester pushed through. I was able to teach myself a lot of the things that I know now. And, but also I definitely like to thank my team, Chaka, definitely, for pushing me, giving me the support, giving me the critiques, the feedback on my songs, my producing, just every little bit that was said, while creating what I created. It definitely played a big part into it. So thank you all, really, thank you.
And you started out as Freddie, and then you became Peachy Lean. Can you tell me a little bit about? I'm glad we found that in this moment.
Yeah.
He found an identity during this time too. So can you talk about Peachy Lean and what that is and what that brand is, and then we're going to show him a little clip of the song and the artwork that you created.
Yes, sir. So Peachy Lean is really a name that I got a few years back. I actually used to play mariachi when I was in middle school. I played it all through middle school and high school. Yeah, it was a name that I got during mariachi in my mariachi group. My instructors, they kind of just started off calling me Pichilin. And I remember just them telling me that they had a friend who they also called Pichilin, and remembered that I had a similar voice to them too. So I mean, that was cool, but I mean, I kind of wanted to get a little more in depth to it. So when I researched a little bit about the name, it turns out it goes back to I like to compare it a lot to my father's roots, just because Pichilin is a small village that valued a lot of farming, crops, all that stuff, living in the farmlands. And my father grew up that way. So I think that really, I think it was something really special. It's just something to carry on with me with my Mexican identity as well, and carry that on with me. And also a big part of that, a big part of the story in that village, Pichilin was, the village that, grew crops, where all that stuff. But there was a massacre in the late 1900s where the village Pichilin was forced to leave their land from federal governments. They killed a bunch of the people in the Pichilin community, which really damaged a lot of their life. And so I think it definitely carries on a legacy, and it's something that I think it has some meaning to it. And so that's where I found it, with the help of my brothers as well. Just remembering, my nickname in mariachi, I thought, oh, that was really cool. So, Pichilin had to be it. I had to carry that on with me.
It's so beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. And, we're excited to see what you create moving forward. And, that legacy that you're carrying ties right into what this whole thing is about. So thank you for being an example of that. And, seeing it through. I know it wasn't easy, and it wasn't easy for any of the members that saw it through this whole semester. So, thank you for being that example. Thank you for sharing your stories. And let's check out this little clip of this song. Tim, we got that? What's up?
Es por vida, dame el ciclo, ey, dame tiempo y yo te picho los vestidos. Aquí de nuevo subiendo el rebote, yeah. Esta pista anda quemando, así que dale un sople. Cada pista que yo haga es pa' que usted escuche. Tengo presión, cabrón, no me la quites. Porque la pasión llegó y la pasión llegó. Estaba lejos, pero ahora les dejo el diezmo. Por la vida que yo tengo agradezco a Dios. Pa' mi familia que está en Guerrero.
Hey! Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Real quick, we just saw the visual. Can you talk about how we came to the visual? Because you had some ideas at first. We had about 4 or 5 ideas, and talk about how we came to that, what you had there.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely wanted to bring in a lot of the vibe of the song. We see that it's a turn up kind of, let's party, let's have a good time. A lot of the visuals had to do with just a lot of neon colors. When I first listened to the song and made it, with my group, we kind of discussed, and they kind of envisioned, these neon colors, and we also I think Laura I actually thank for, because she brought up the idea of the palm trees. My Mexican side had to come up too, and so that's where the palm trees came in. I got in touch with my older brother's friend, his roommate, who's actually a graphic designer who did this for me, which I definitely thank for. But yeah, we kind of wanted to mess around with these neon colors. We had a kind of Travis Scott vibe, similar way with the way the instrumental was set up. So I think the neon colors really had a lot to do with that, similar with the palm trees, with the other side of the language coming out. But yeah, that's.
Yeah, and then the part I'm gonna add, since you just left it out, in the song you talk about hurricane. So we actually looked at hurricane imagery, and I forget what they call that when they're looking at it, but you see like the infrared or whatever, the different colors. So some of the colors, the influence of the colors in there actually came from the weather forecasting Doppler or whatever they call that. So great job, man. We're real proud of you. We're excited that this song is dropping. Can you let them know when it's going to drop?
Yeah, this single will be dropping June 18th. So keep an eye out. Also, give me a follow on Instagram. I got Facebook pages too, at El Pichilin. So feel free. I'll be updating y'all whatever comes up, any little snippets. But yeah, just keep an eye out. June 18th. That's when we'll be coming out.
All right, Freddie, man. Thank y'all. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
For everything, man. We'll talk soon.
Of course, appreciate it, man.
Definitely. All right, y'all. That's it from Legacy ATX. We'll see y'all soon. Appreciate it.
Wow. I am blown away by Freddie's song. Let's see. I am here actually to present our digital docent of the year, which I am super excited about because this team has just been, like I said earlier, amazing to work with. I've got a team of about 11 college-age students who we are employing as digital docents, and that ranges anywhere from content creation to hosting our podcast to interviewing people to scheduling people. All sorts of communication is involved. And then they also do video editing, graphic design, anything that you see on our website, our graphics for tonight they did. So again, I am just incredibly proud of this team. We also have 3 digital apprentices that I hope to bring on as paid digital docents soon. And that is Darnell, Dana, and Anna. And I'm so incredibly proud of the work they've done. And quick story, Anna she was actually a student of mine at Connolly High School years ago. So to find these connections coming back, and I used to teach with Umberto years ago at Connolly also. It's just been great being here. So I'm excited to present our digital docent of the year. This student has balanced a full load of classes at UT. They were also a creative mentor. They served on every program that we had as digital docents. So our podcast, ADHP, weekly meetings, everything. And it is my honor to award this to Laura Soto.
I'm not gonna get emotional. I promised myself I would not get emotional. Thank you so much, Cynthia. I know, deep breaths, deep breaths. I don't even have the words to say how much this organization, this team has impacted me and inspired me. I came into E4 at the start of the pandemic. I actually have not met most of the team in person, which is mind-blowing, but this is the world we're living in. And I just came in with such a scarcity mindset. I really, was always on that grind at UT Austin, and I just saw the world in such a competitive lens. And I did not realize that my story had so much power. And I didn't realize that, in embracing all sides of me and like the holistic process of growing into and becoming and just inspiring other people to pursue their own passions, that all this would come together so quickly, and I would find such a wonderful, fruitful community. I really want to shout out some of the graduating E4 youth people, including Karina. She's the one who brought me on from the multicultural advertising intern program this past year. Ricardo, you helped me through from apprentice days till now, and so much support, so much love. Christy, oh my goodness, you are such a light, so much love. Chelsea, a hype woman. Literally, I'm so excited for everything you're going to accomplish. Delisha was my orientation advisor at UT Austin, and now, she's going to Columbia. Like, that is incredible. Like, that's insane. And then Tin, oh my goodness, he's a doctor and like a musician and everything. And Peachy Lynn is so inspiring. I'm so grateful that I got to work on the Music Legacy project with him, as well as my entire Austin Digital Heritage Project team. And Michaela, she was my mentor, like my mentor to become a creative mentor. And I could just go on and on and on with names of people that have just drastically impacted my life for the better. And I will never, ever, ever forget all of these calls. It's crazy how you can be in your room for a year and grow more than you have in maybe like 2 decades of your life, which is kind of what happened with me. And so I'm blown away by just how my horizons have been opened through programs that have collaborated with E4. E4 has helped, such as Creative Action and all the projects we get to work on, and the fact that there's so much that we can go and pursue and impact and make better. And after such a difficult time, I actually have not been in Austin this entire time, still studying, and I live with a very high-risk parent, so definitely was a very isolated time. To have resources such as the Health Dojo that we got to go to every week, and to realize that there are so many relationships waiting to be made, and there's so much change, positive change, that just is waiting for us to embrace and bring into fruition. That has been the most just impacting and life-altering thing that could have ever happened. And I found that through digital docents. So thank you so much, Cynthia, for recognizing me today. And thank you so much for the team, for every single person, for Carl, Umberto, all the breakdowns, all the craziness. It was so worth it, because the work we've done has been the most meaningful I've ever committed towards. So just thank you. There's not no words to say. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Like I said, it's my honor, and I'm so proud of the work that you've done. So thanks. And now we're going to move on to our educators of the year, and it is my honor to present Umberto. You're on mute.
I knew I was going to do that. Thank you, Cynthia, for the welcome. And hi, everybody. I am the Education Director for E4Youth, Humberto Perez. And I started working with Carl back in 2008. So it is my privilege to be able to present the award for educators today. But I have a special guest here today. He's somebody he's an educator, he's a colleague, and he's a really good friend. And he works at Pflugerville High School. And I asked him to come be my guest today because we're going to chat a little bit. He's going to be making a journey, but I'm not going to reveal what that is. I'm actually going to have him in. So let me welcome David Robb from Pflugerville High School. How you doing, David?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, Umberto?
I'm doing well, man. I'm excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So, tell everybody a little bit about what you do at Pflugerville High School.
Sure. For the past 11 years, I've advised the student newspaper and student broadcast at Pflugerville High School and taught a range of audio, video production and journalism classes.
Awesome. And so you're going to be you're onto a new journey, basically. You told me about a month ago, and you're finally making the transition, and it's bittersweet for us, bittersweet for me personally, because I've known you all this time. But I'm also extremely happy for you and your family. Tell us about your new journey.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's bittersweet for me as well. But my wife just accepted a really exciting promotion in the Houston area. So in June, we will be moving to Houston, which means this will be my last year at Pflugerville High School and my last year with E4Youth. And that's what makes it bittersweet, because it's tough to leave this awesome community we have here, but we are very excited about what's waiting for us in Houston.
Yeah, no, congratulations to you, to your wife. This is exciting for you and your family, and it's a new start, right? We've worked on a lot of projects together in Pflugerville. I know when you came on, I mentored you for a while, and then we started working together doing like the CANS project and we've always worked with Carl. So tell us a little bit. I know this year, the pandemic started back, March of 2020, and then came the fall and things weren't better. So I know that educators have had varying degree of challenges, a lot of challenges. And I know that even talking to parents, people that have kids, like I can tell they want their kids to go back to school, But tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you and other educators have had to face during the pandemic.
Sure. I think the biggest challenge is just not having students physically present in the classroom. The majority of the students that I teach and have taught all year are still learning at home. They're learning virtually, and that just limits a lot of things that we could normally do. It makes it harder to forge relationships. It's harder to know what's going on in their lives. It's harder to intervene when a student's struggling. So there have been challenges, absolutely. But I think the students deserve a lot of credit for everything that they've had to overcome, and I've seen a lot of perseverance from my students and really students across the country this year during what has been a really unprecedented year.
Yeah, it's been really tough on the students as well. I know that from some personal stories. And then, of course, I don't assume anything, because you and I, we've worked in Title I schools for, basically all our careers. And we know that our students have faced challenges even without a pandemic. So let alone during a pandemic, and with all the social unrest going on at the moment. So it's definitely been challenging. And tell us a little bit, as you've been meeting these challenges, this year has been different. How have you felt that E4Youth supported you this year?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you asked that, actually, because I definitely wanted to give a shout out to our E4Youth mentors, Chelsea and Jennifer. They have done an amazing job this year in leading our Zoom meetings. They've done a tremendous job of engaging with students in those meetings, building relationships with them. You know, I think this year, especially in a year that it's been really hard for some students to connect, Chelsea and Jennifer have done a great job of reaching out and really forging those relationships and forging those connections with my students.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've seen them work with your class, and they've just, they've been amazing, and your students have been responsive. So it's really great to see that. So I asked you to come to be my guest today, because I knew you were leaving, and you and I, we've been working together a long time. I'm sure we'll still continue to work in some way, shape, or form. But I want to recognize all the educators. So I want, we'll cut to the slides here with all our educators. So I want to recognize our educators at Aikens High School, Laura Alanis, Sarah Barentine, Sean Clays, and David Dewar. They're the ones that help us out over there at the Get Creative Club at Aikens High School. And then over at McCullum High School, we have Aaron Murtha. And at Crockett High School, we have Deanne Brown. And then, of course, David, you're over at Pflugerville. And then over in the Manor School District, big shout out to Mr. Will Rodriguez over at Manor New Tech High School, and to Shannon Robb Park and Bill Getz over at Manor Senior High School. And so this year, you got an award one year for Educator of the Year, right, David?
I think so. I think that was back when we were both teaching in Pflugerville ISD together. Yes.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was we were at GSD&M back then in person, and you got an award. So this year, given that it's been challenging for educators, and we value educators, and we want to show the world that we should value educators more, all of you are Educators of the Year. So E4Youth is gifting you each a $100 gift card.
Whoa.
Educators.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So thank you for all the work you do, David. I wish you the very best. Mucho éxito in Houston, my hometown. And thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Humberto. Really, I owe so much to E4Youth and to you personally. I'm just super grateful for our friendship, for your mentorship. I know you always laugh when I say this, but you are like the main reason that I made it through my first year of teaching. So thank you for that, and thank you for getting me involved in E4Youth.
You're welcome, David. It's been a pleasure working with you, and like I said, I know we'll continue to probably work in some way, shape, or form. I always joke with my students that hopefully one day we'll get hired by them, and they'll pay us a 6-figure salary so we can retire in style.
That's the goal, right?
That's the goal. That's our retirement plan. All right. Well, thank you, David. Have a good evening. Okay.
All right. You too.
All right. And now we'll continue with our creative mentors. Our creative mentors are an integral part of our Creative Leadership Academy. They work with our high school students at our Get Creative Clubs with, like you just heard, with David Robb and all the other educators that are there. So I want to give a big shout out to Jennifer, Michaela, Christian, Chelsea, Joseph, Duke, Laura, Litzy, Lily, and Christy. Because this has been a very challenging year, and it's been very difficult to engage high school students. And it's been very challenging for the college students as well. So they've stuck in there. We always tell them that we're stronger as a team, and they buy into that, and we're a team, and we've had to lean on each other. This has been a year of a lot of loss in terms of like COVID deaths, other deaths, challenges that we've had to face, social unrest with systemic racism, and so much other stuff that's just been amplified because of the pandemic. So big shout out to all the creative mentors for their continued hard work and dedication to mentoring and coaching the high school students. And I'd like to move on to our award of our Creative Mentor of the Year. And this year, like I said, they were all amazing. So this was a very tough choice. But this particular mentor actually started out in our summer digital, what we called our summer digital apprentice program that we had last summer, which this summer is going to be called the Summer Creative Leadership Academy program. She started out there. She applied, got in. She worked up, she completed the program. She decided to stay on as a digital apprentice because she was going to be a freshman at University of Texas. And within a few months, we hired her to be a creative mentor. And within a few months of that, they were already, Carl and Janaea were already talking about bringing her on as a digital docent. And then when we brought on Cynthia, we brought her on, they hired her as a digital docent as well. And she's done amazing work over at Crockett High School. And also shout out to Duke for training her, because he was at Crockett and we were gonna move him to another club, and he trained her and got her ready. And he's amazing in his own right as well. And she's like a sponge. And I'm just so grateful that she's been doing the amazing work that she's doing, coaching and mentoring students. So this year's Creative Mentor of the Year goes out to Lily Sue. And welcome, Lily.
Hi, thank you so much, Humberto. I'm so honored to be a part of the E4 Youth family. And I think first I want to credit my other creative mentors. Duke really did help me a lot through transitioning into teaching a class. I had no idea what I was doing in the beginning, but I think his patience really made me a lot more at ease. And I think just being in meetings with the other creative mentors, you can really see their passion and how much they care for their students, from making recruitment videos to getting more students into the program to just getting guest speakers in and like designing amazing lesson plans. It really motivated me to do the same for my students. And I think when I first, within a few weeks of stepping into the virtual classroom, I learned how talented my students were. I think you can't really force someone to learn, but you can give them all the resources possible. And my students really took that and ran with it. This year, I was able to teach a 7-week web design program, and I think that the students really gave it their own flair and had such big visions for the designs, and that was really inspiring to see. They now know more about the design software than me, which I think speaks to their motivation even during the pandemic. And that's been really fulfilling for me this year. And I also want to thank Humberto for seeing my potential as a creative mentor when I remember I could barely speak in big meetings myself. So I owe it to him for this opportunity. He taught me that at the core of teaching is just connecting with your students, and he definitely did that with us creative mentors too. He taught me how to value myself and my abilities. So I think that getting to join his team and teaching the students at Crockett was definitely the highlight of my pandemic. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Lily, and thank you. Thank you for all the hard work and all the amazing stuff you're doing. All right, so now I'd like to turn it over. Well, now it's the time that all our high school students have been waiting for. We are going to announce the finalists and winners of our E4Youth Showcase competition for 2021. And so I'd like to turn it over to our host, Ricardo Villegas and Joseph Mayang. And just want to give a shout out to Ricardo, because Ricardo has been a creative mentor with us for a long time. And this year, he graduated from UT last year, and I knew he was looking to launch his career, and part of me was hoping that he wouldn't get a job yet, because I wanted to keep working with him. He's just been a pleasure to work with. And then part of me wanted him to move on, right? but because of the pandemic, it's been difficult. But I just want to say thank you, Ricardo, for all your hard work this year. I just want to acknowledge you for that, because I don't know what I would have done without you leading the CLA Academy, because you actually took that over and did everything that went with it, and took it to the next level. So thank you, Ricardo. And also want to thank Joseph. He was also a summer apprentice last summer, and we hired him on as a creative mentor. He just had so much leadership potential, and he has been fulfilling his leadership potential and doing an amazing job over at Aikens High School. So thank you, Joseph, and take it away, you guys.
Thank you so much, Humberto. I know I can say that I'm extremely grateful for everything I've been able to do thanks to E4 Youth. And I know that the day that I do leave is going to be a really sad one. But I guess let's get into the competition. So, high school students participating in our Get Creative clubs submit creative work in the following categories, which are graphic design, illustration, journalism, music, photography, interactive media, video production / filmmaking, creative writing, and creative digital portfolios.
Awesome. And the winner of each category receives a $250 gift card, and the two remaining finalists of each category receive a $50 gift card. And as well, the best of show receives an additional $250 gift card. So amazing prizes tonight, folks. But before we get to the actual showcase of awards, let's take this time to appreciate all the hard work and passion that's been put into the showcase. You know, if anything, if there's anything that the pandemic has taught us, it's that creativity does not stop. You know, there's always a demand for being creative, and us creatives, we're constantly on the go. And if anything, the demand for creativity has increased since this pandemic. So let's just give a shout out to the students, right, who found the motivation and dedication to submit these projects and blossom into creatives, to the teachers who are the guiding lights for these students and have worked with them day in and day out to make sure that they get where they want to be. To the judges who take time out of their day to help grow these students through constructive criticism. And finally, of course, thank you to E4 for making this showcase possible and empowering young creative professionals. So round of applause for everyone. But I know you guys are very anxious to get to the awards, so I won't waste any time. We'll go ahead and start off this showcase with the creative writing. Creative writing is just any free form piece of writing that students can showcase. So the judge for this year is Martha Chang. Martha is a veteran freelance copywriter with a passion for all forms of creativity. When she's not working with words, she is a singer and a band leader in Austin. So Martha, if you're here tonight, thank you once again for judging the creative writing piece. All right, here are finalists. So our first finalist for the night goes to, from Crockett High School, Luis Angeles Sanchez, woo, with his piece titled Grendel's Diary. Awesome, awesome. Very cool, very cool. And you guys can always check these out later, so we'll post the links. Our next finalist in the creative writing category goes to, from Aikens High School, Jashawn Andre Barkley, woo, with his piece titled Satanic Spawn. And I just want to express, good job, Jashawn. He's part of my club at Aikens, and he was very passionate about this piece. And when I read all the posts that he did, you could tell the passion and detail that he put into it. So I'm very proud of you for making it to the finalists. All right, and our last finalist for the creative writing piece goes to, also from Aikens High School, Rhiannon Ferguson. Cool, and her piece is titled Excited. I think it's a poetry piece, and I really like the banner. It's like a nice starry night. All right, folks, so those are the three finalists for the creative writing category, and I am happy to now pronounce the finalist, the winner of the best creative writing piece. And she is Rhiannon Ferguson from Aikens High School. All right, good job, Rhiannon. Good job. Very proud of you as well. Rhiannon is from Aikens High School, and I really love seeing her work as well. Here's what our judges had to say about Rhiannon's piece. So this is a wonderful distillation of what this pandemic has felt like for so many of us, Martha Chang says. Your ideas and feelings are tightly expressed, and I love the image of the ecstatic but obedient dog and the imagery of an overworked computer, ropes of procrastination, and etc. I also love how the short phrases, same spot and all day, rhythmically pin the reader down after your longer, more lyrical passages. Consider using a different analogy than Romeo and Juliet. It's a little overused, but overall, excellent work. And I must agree, excellent work, Rhiannon. But creative writing is just one category, guys. What's the fun if there's just one category? So I'm turning it over to Ricardo, who will be introducing the journalism segment.
Awesome. Thank you, Joseph. And I just want to thank again our judge for the journalism category. Her name is Cara Andrade. She is an Ashoka Fellow who co-founded Habla Centro Informatics and most recently a program director at the International Center for Journalistic Directing Programs in Costa Rica, Cuba, and Mexico. So thank you so much, Cara. And journalism is actually one of my favorite categories because when I was in high school, I was actually part of the journalism team. I was the photo editor. So without further ado, let's get into those finalists. Our first finalist for journalism from Aikens High School, we have Ash Catalan with their piece titled Glitches Plague Long-Awaited Cyberpunk 2077. Awesome. Great work, Ash. And for our second finalist, also from Aikens High School, we have Rhiannon Ferguson with their piece titled 2020-2021 Aikens Yearbook Designer Director. Awesome. Great work, Rhiannon. And now we only had 2 finalists for this category. So without further ado, the winner for Best Journalism goes to, from Aikens High School, Rhiannon Ferguson. And some comments from the judge for Rhiannon are, let's see. The idea for this piece is very strong, and so is the selection of artwork. The presentation would have been much stronger, either having less artwork per page or having more pages. In addition, it lacks cohesive narrative to guide the reader. So hopefully this feedback helps you in your future, Rhiannon. Congratulations. And now, Joseph with music.
All right, guys, welcome back. So, you know, this has been a really weird year, like I've said multiple times. So why not change it up a bit? Right here, I have E4 Youth Awards. Since this is the music category, why don't we change it up and let's call it E4 Youth's twist on the Grammys. So tonight, folks, I present to you E4 Youth's very own Grammy Awards, and inside this envelope, I have the winner of tonight's music category. But before we get to that, just a little bit more about our judge, Mandy Roden. So Mandy Roden is a lifelong musician, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and educator. With 4 albums under her belt, she is also the founder of Girl Guitar, an international guitar, songwriting, and rock and roll school for women. Amazing. Thank you, Mandy, for judging this category. And if you're here, hello. But moving in right to our first finalist for the evening is Luis Angeles Sanchez from Crockett High School. Woo! Give it up for Luis with his piece titled Glow.
Vacuum flashing. Especially so far without distillation
All right, cool. Thank you, Luis. And for our next finalist, giving to Pflugerville High School's Amon Salcido. Woo! Congratulations, Amon. right, awesome job, Milan. I really like the mellow guitar vibes. I like that. I'll listen to that personally. And for our final finalist for the music category, we have also from Pflugerville High School, Cameron Trentamos. Woo! With the piece titled Withdrawal. All right, and those are our three finalists. If any of you three finalists are here tonight, please drop those links on any social media. I want to listen to at least a portion of it if I can, or all of it, and I'm pretty sure everyone here does too. But without further ado, let us please present tonight's music award winner, who goes to, from Crockett High School, Luis Angeles Sanchez. Woo! Congratulations, Luis.
Especially so far,
All right, and here's what the judges had to say about Luis's piece. So this was a more developed piece than the first entry, Experimental. You matured since working on that one. You're right on that. The bass adds a lot. Most people don't know how much they appreciate the bass until they hear something without it and compare. I also dug the sound bites at the top and would like to hear something like that at the end. It would work like bookends and maybe a tiny bit stronger than just abruptly ending after such strong tune. But other than that, bravo. Luis, bravo as well, and congratulations. So I am now turning it over back to Ricardo, who is going to introduce one of his favorite parts of the competition. Ricardo, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Yes, so the next category is for graphic design and illustration, and I do love some graphic design and illustration. So we just want to thank the judge for the category, Billy R. Boykin Jr. He is a digital illustrator, coffee enthusiast, and production artist for Hunt Gather. Drawing, playing with his two bulldogs, working out, and having brunch are some of his favorite things to do when he's not creating. So without further ado, let's get into those finalists. Let's see. Our first finalist for graphic design and illustration from Aikens High School, Jordan Aguilar, with his piece titled Overcomer. Awesome. And I've had the pleasure to work with Jordan, so I'm really glad to see that he submitted and he's a finalist. So for our second graphic design illustration finalist, we have all the way from Crockett High School. Nope, never mind. All the way from Manor New Tech High, Jonathan Rivera. Oh, never mind. Luis Angeles. Oh yeah, Crockett High School, Luis Angeles Sanchez. Sorry about that, guys. I love how real it looks. Very good. Okay, now for our third graphic design illustration finalist from Manor New Tech High, we have Jonathan Rivera. Awesome. Great job, guys. And the winner for the best graphic design / illustration goes to, from Aikens High School, Jordan Aguilar. Awesome. Great work, Jordan. And some of the judges' comments about your piece were that you did an amazing job with this piece. What really stands out to me would be the crown. Even in the midst of darkness, your crown shines. It signifies a beacon of hope and light. Great job. Congratulations, Jordan. And now we have Joseph with photography.
All right, hello again, folks. So surely many of us have heard the saying, a picture paints 1,000 words. And tonight's pieces, it definitely rings true. With these photographs that our students submitted, they definitely elicit a emotional response that sometimes we're just not able to get from pieces of writing. And so for our finalists tonight, be sure you guys are for sure going to be wowed and really shook by it. So just a little bit about tonight's judge for photography. We have Nick Smith. Nick Smith is a finishing artist who has worked in post-production for over 20 years. He has run his company, Film and Finish, for 10 of those. He enjoys a good coffee, a morning run, and traveling, hopefully when the world opens up. Thank you, Nick. And so to present to you guys, our first photography finalist is Luis Angeles Sanchez from Crockett High School. All right, cool. I really like this piece because it was inspired by the 1956 kind of muscle cars, and I really like that. I really like that a lot. It gets that nice hint, that nice wave of nostalgia. So congratulations, Luis. Cool. Moving on to our second finalist for the evening, we have from McCollum High School, Antonio Melton Molina. Woo! Congratulations, Antonio. His piece was a UT Design School submission called Iblis Falls. I'm sorry if I butcher that. But if you guys have the chance to look at that, it was really cool. The Photoshop skills are off the charts. Definitely something really cool here. And, you know, personally, I hope to see more of your work. So congratulations, Antonio. Cool. And moving on to our last but not least, third finalist for the photography category, we have from Maynard Seniors High School, Montserrat Celeste Renteria, with her piece titled Objects. And a lot of these are flowers, and flowers are very beautiful. We need to see more flowers growing around on the side of the road or, you know, wherever we see. And yeah, very nice work. All right, guys, so you saw 3 finalists from this category, and it's so hard to choose. I mean, all of those are just beautiful. Like, I'm almost tearing up from this. But unfortunately, we can only have one winner. And that winner is from McCallum High School, Antonio Melton Molina. Woo! Congratulations, Antonio. Very nice work, very nice photography skills. Definitely should teach me some Photoshop sometimes because it is a struggle to learn. Well, that wraps up the photography category, folks. I will be rolling it over to Ricardo, who's going to be doing filmmaking and video production.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Joseph. And I'm sure this time I won't mess up. So for video production and filmmaking, we want to thank our judge, Jason Marlowe, who is a director, cinematographer, and writer based in New York. He works in commercial, narrative, and music video production with Picture Farm Productions. He's currently developing a dark comedy series for a streaming network and hopes his sense of humor doesn't get him too much in trouble. Fingers crossed. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. And so our first finalist for the video production filmmaking goes to, from Maynard New Tech High School, Jasmine Coronado. Congratulations, Jasmine. I personally have been able to see this piece because I helped shadow at their club. So it's really good to see here. And now for our second finalist, from the Get Creative Club in Austin, we have Ansh Purwi with their piece titled How I Spent Christmas. Awesome. Great work, Ansh. And for our third and final finalist for video production / filmmaking, also from the Get Creative Club Austin, we have Gabriel Santiago. Congratulations, Gabriel. His piece is titled Boy, a short film by Gabriel Santiago. And now for our best video production / filmmaking winner from Maynard New Tech High School, we have Jasmine Coronado. Congratulations, Jasmine. And a little bit of the judges' feedback before we start the video is they were super impressed. They were drawn into the story, and the treatment was both skillful in visual craft, but also pacing of narrative, solid storytelling, engaging treatment, and balanced. Follow this path. Awesome. I know we were all moved, and I can only imagine how much time was put into that. So Joseph's going to be going into our next category, interactive media.
All right, guys, so I apologize. My hands are still shaking from all the intensity that was in that video. I watched it earlier, but it just gets you every time. It makes your heart rush, and the ending, it's like a nice, all right, cool, we're safe. But I'm all good now. Our next category for tonight is the interactive media. With interactive media, this can include UI, UX, VR, video games, or an app. So this really is kind of like 21st century technology, right? And so our students have the opportunity to make stuff that could potentially be used in the future, and actually could be used already in the present. So this is definitely a lot of cool projects and submissions you're going to see. So a little bit about our interactive media judge. We have Jean Crockett, who is an accomplished vice president of operations with 25 plus years of experience. She acts as an organizational change agent to build sound operational practices aligned with product innovation, process integration, and seamless delivery. Jean believes that the power in a company is its people, and harnessing the power of its people is her passion. And I definitely agree with what Jean says. The people are what make everything work. So very well said. But let's dive into these awesome projects. So up first, we have from Crockett High School, Luis Angeles Sanchez with his slideshow, COVID Cautious. Very timely and very relevant, especially in today's world. So I'm glad to see that you chose to take that approach. Awesome. All right, and our next finalist we have from Crockett High School as well, Mason Joseph, with his app, Pride Place app. And a little bit about this piece, it's very inclusive, it's a very nice way to include people of the LGBTQ community. So it's very, very nice, very nice. And our last finalist for this evening in the interactive media category, we have also from Crockett High School, Daniela Velasquez with her UI UX project on high fidelity wireframes. And I'm not too sure what a high fidelity wireframe is, but her work is very nice. So very well put together. Yes, congratulations to everyone in Crockett. This is a Crockett dominated area, so congratulations. All right, folks, and our winner for the best interactive media goes to Luis Angeles Sanchez from Crockett High School. Congratulations, congratulations. Cool, COVID cautious. It's a nice slang. It's like a nice little slogan. We should use it more often. Be COVID cautious. All right, the judges' comments about this are the iconography was well thought out, clear, simple, and immediately recognizable. The strategy around personal quotes and medical feedback makes the document genuine. And I have to agree, it really is. And it's a really authentic approach to the COVID-19 situation. And I believe you did a really well job. Really good, really well job. So congratulations, Luis. All right, so all of these projects that you've seen have been submitted through a digital creative portfolio, and we happen to have a category for that, which Ricardo will explain more about.
Awesome. So yes, as Joseph said, the digital creative portfolio is just the thing that encompasses everything that we do here at E4 Youth. We help them build portfolios, and all of these pieces of work live on one. So we want to thank our judge for this category, Steve Miller, who is the Chief Creative Officer at Wonderman Thompson Austin and a member of the Board of Directors at the Umlauf Sculpture Garden and Museum. In his long career, he has shaped the brand of companies like Southwest Airline, BMW, AT&T, and won every award in advertising from Clio's to Cannes Lions. Steve lives in Austin with his wife and 2 children. Thank you so much, Steve, for your time. So moving into our first finalists, all the way from Aikens High School, we have Rhiannon Ferguson with their portfolio. Awesome, I love the banner. Now moving into our second finalist, from McCallum High School, we have Antonio Melton Molina. Awesome. And now for our third finalist for Digital Creative Portfolio, from McCallum High School, we have Isabella Telles. Awesome. I love the colors, Isabella. And now for our best Digital Creative Portfolio winner, we have from McCallum High School, Isabella Telles. Congratulations, Isabella. And a little bit of words from the judge. Your design work was very especially impressive. Your use of color and composition is very sophisticated. I was glad to see that you're headed to Pratt. It's a great place to explore all your interests and grow your talents. I expect great things from you. Beautiful work. Thank you so much. And now on to our final category.
All right, guys. So we have made it to the end. Congratulations to all of the winners that we have so far. But now it's time to announce the best of show. And the best of show for this year is definitely well-deserved for one, and definitely keeps you on the edge of your seat. So without further ado, the best of show for this year from
Maynard Newton High School,
Jasmine Coronado. Woo!
Congratulations,
Woo, woo,
Jasmine.
woo.
I can only imagine how much time you spent on that video.
Yes. And yes, it's the extraordinary heist, just to clarify. So congratulations once again.
Awesome. Great job. And now we're going to hand it over to Carl and Humberto. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ricardo and Joseph. And I want to give a special shout out to Bulb for our portfolios, for letting us use their platform, and for students. You know, it's great. All I hear from students that it's easy to use, and it's great to be able to develop their portfolios on it. But Carl, we're here to encourage more students, right?
Yes, we will. We still have slots open for our summer Creative Leadership Academy. Applications are open. You can go to our website, and actually, I think the showcase is the first thing that you'll see, but the next slide that you come up will take you to the Creative Leadership Academy link. There's a link for high school students as well as for college age students. And yes, if you successfully complete the summer, you will get a $250 cash stipend and more than likely qualify for employment as a creative mentor, a digital docent, or working in internships with our partners.
Yes, and if you're a senior in high school, fill out the application for high school. I know you're graduating and you're moving on to college, but fill out the application for high school. I encourage all of you that are in high school to submit your application. You'll get to work with college age students on a team, and you'll get to work with creative professionals and learn a lot. And maybe, you'll become a creative mentor or a digital docent with us, or get freelance opportunities as well as internship opportunities. We will have some orientation sessions coming up. Just keep an eye on our website. We'll post those up as soon as we get a chance. And we hope that you'll join us.
Yes, so thank you, everybody, for sticking with us the whole 2 hours. We got some dedicated fans out there. It's really gratifying. It's been a hell of a year. And without further ado, we're going to close this thing on down. You all have a great, great evening. Be safe walking from your living rooms back into your bedrooms. And we'll see you out there in the world sometime soon. You all take care.